threat, what's beyond it, what's around it, what's in between you and the threat, because we live in a 360-degree world with people all around. Okay, it's not like high noon at the OK Corral where they get out of the way, you get your best gunfighter stance, somebody says when, you shoot once, they fall down, and then you go about your business. Okay, we have to be aware of other people out in the world because there is a lot of no-shoots that are there. Okay, when we come to take classes, we expect to shoot, right, Alexi? And it's an ongoing joke between Alexi and I on all classes. So,
oh, this is the dry fire man?
Yeah. I told him that first thing this morning. He said, "Oh, good," because he didn't bring any ammo today. Ability to do things. Are we rapid firing at 100 or 200 yards with somebody? No, because for us, okay. And as I get into the safety brief before we get shooting, and we talk about that fourth rule of be sure your target, what's beyond it, what's around it, what's in between you and the thread. Okay, because we live in that 360-degree world with people all around, and they don't just get out of the way. It's not like the military where we might lay suppressive fire. Now, pending end of the world as we know it, if society breaks down, well then all bets are off. The rules are a little bit different. But for us, we're accountable for every round that goes down range. When we have distance, okay, we have to ensure that we have a good understanding of our zero and marksmanship, and applying those fundamentals of marksmanship to get the bullets to go where we need them to go in order to stop that threat. Okay, we have a little bit more time when we have distance. Okay? So we want to look and see how does the rifle fit into our individual protective system, and what do I really need. Now, like I said, I'm not opposed to an AR. I'll have an AR with a red dot, and I shoot it out to 400, no problem. Okay. If as you're doing your individual threat assessment and you're building your system, it's something with a magnified optic. Now this is a fixed 4-power Trigicon that I brought. This is kind of my recce rifle, just for example, an example. Or if low-powered variable optic, LPPO, works into your system, that's great too. Okay. The thing of it isn't, like we talked about, is filling gaps and understanding how that fits in and how we apply it to the things that we're trying to do with it.
Bunch of hard chargers in a truck. This is our bougie technical.
They're good rifles.
Heading down to the 400.
Right down your spine, out the crack of your hind end, nice wide legs. Okay, so when that gun recoils, it comes back like a piston. Okay, and that energy transfer goes into your body and then dissipates into the ground. Okay, that recoil should be right back. The sight should fall right back on the gun. Check that natural point of aim. Okay, because we're in a controlled environment. So once we have our sighting system lined up on that heart, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, let everything relax, and then see, are we left and right? I'm not worried about up and down. Okay, we're worried about left and right. If we need to shift it all, shift your hips, which is going to move your whole body, okay, and then go through the process again. So I said, when that gun recoils, it's like a piston. It should come straight back into you. Okay, that energy transfer comes into your body and dissipates down into the ground. That's why we got a nice wide base. Okay, so we're controlling the rifle. The rifle isn't controlling us. Okay, we're going to shoot a 5-round group to the heart. We'll go down, check them, mark them. If we need to make any adjustments or shoot again, we'll do that, and then we'll get on to the next thing. Okay?
I mean, seriously, it's high and right this morning. Why? Because the sun, moon, and stars have moved on us.
It's because yours is number 5.
Oh. Okay, that actually makes me feel better. I was trying to figure out why in the world it was high and right all of a sudden. Yeah, that's more consistent for this gun and ammo.
Yeah, there we go.
I was actually looking at Georgia, so.
Ah.
Oh, I haven't. Thank you. Oh, I'm tired.
probably need to come down just, and even yesterday, we're still a bit high. Now, just because we're trying to get them in the heart specifically, would those be good shots otherwise? Heck yeah, they would. Okay. But since we're checking zero and learning those hold unders, just a little bit more, we're going to shoot one more group together. It all on this as we're going through. Okay. What we want is 5 well-aimed, precise shots in the heart. Okay. And each one being its own individual event. Okay? Cool. Let's go on back and do her again. Once everybody's set, has a good natural point of aim, and you feel comfortable, go ahead and send a good 5-round group in the heart, each shot being its own individual event. I think everybody's doing a remote pin that to the rear, let the sight settle before we bring it back. Get that bullet time to go out the muzzle.
Right, it comes by. Got a hole, get in the hole. You gotta get up and beat on the hole, get him out.
As expected.
Right here. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5.
Let's drop you at 50. Good, Abner. Good. Looking good.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. See, I told you did excellent.
Yeah, thank you.
Normally I would say adjust right, but honestly I'm leaving that alone. That's probably my position in the grass.
So I am, did you change ammo?
My chest is hurting today because my chest rig has been digging in. My chest rig is digging in because I hike it up when I lay down, and it's bruising my sternum, so it's changing my body position, and I think it's forcing me to shoot that way a little bit. It is what it is.
You're looking good, my friend. For each click, it's a 1/4 inch at 100, or a 1/4 minute of angle. So in order to move in an inch, we would have to move it 4 clicks. Okay. We said about 3.5 inches. So 4 times 3 is 12, and then another half with plus 2, so 14 should have been the appropriate up. Okay. No big deal. We're here to figure all that stuff out, and I know math is hard.
It is.
Yep. You said that yesterday, and I remember. Yep. So so what you said, you went 3. Okay. So go 11 more up.
That's what I just did.
Okay. You did already?
Tap it in too.
You need to turn this whole thing. That's the great thing about these exposed turrets.
Right.
Okay. So you don't have to do it there. That's only for when we go to zero things out. Excellent. Good work, my friend. Good work, my friend. Go ahead.
That's a really good group.
Yeah.
That's a really good group.
I tell him that, but he's within hearing distance. I want his head to get big. I mean, it's hard enough to get him in even in the back of the truck some days.
How do you like that muzzle brake?
I don't know actually. I just am amateur. I just shoot.
They're really good muzzle brakes. They're loud, but they're really good. They're very effective.
This is my only carbine, so I can compare.
Yeah, true.
It shoots like it shoots. And
Yeah, those are very good. Good gun.
If anybody else that wants
Checking your line because
and make sure everybody's good
yeah,
to
it's
go.
kind of tangled up.
Thank you.
That'll wear you out after a while.
One of these things I don't like about
All right, now we're getting everybody in there.
You got a lot of slack right there.
So it's on a little bit.
There you go. Because I know when you lay down, you probably hike it up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it probably hikes up on its own.
Yeah.
Partner in a firm, and now he's started their law firm. Limiting distances for the different positions. So since we're at 100, we'll go back there. We'll do seated. Okay, we're going to do 5 rounds seated. While we're doing this, nice and controlled again. Once you get in that seated position, make sure you check that natural point of aim. Okay, distance is our friend there. Continue to pin that trigger to the rear, let it settle. If you have a front sight, and I should have mentioned this earlier, that is straight up and down, you know, run that front sight up. Make sure the gun is straight up and down. We're not canting, because at 100 we will get some deviation on our grouping if we have the gun canted. If you don't have that, that's fine too. Okay, but we'll shoot 5 rounds seated position. Okay, make your way back to your feet. Remember, it's on you. Top these guns off. Keep them topped off with as many bang bangs as possible when you feel it's an appropriate time. Okay, so we don't go to slide or bolt lock and have to do an emergency reload. Okay, because an emergency reload is truly an emergency. We're in the middle of a fight, and all of a sudden we have expended everything that is in the gun, and there's still probably a fight going on. So that, to use a very technical term, that's bad. Okay, so let's try not to get there. So top them off when you feel it's appropriate. We'll walk down, we'll check them, and then either shoot it again or go to 75 and start working the knees. Okay? All right, let's go back and get into these positions. Most of the time we're going to be upright initially. Okay, so we got to work through and figure out a technique for that kind of controlled fall to get us in the seated, controlling our muzzle. Okay, getting the muzzle oriented down towards that threat, getting into our natural point of aim, or as close as we can get it, depending on how much time we have, getting those shots off and then up and moving again. Okay, and that's going to come into play here in a little while. Okay, so but initially we're going to do it starting you guys in seated. Okay, so I'm going to step back here. Everybody, eyes and ears cover up, or at least ears, and go ahead and make your way into a good, stable, seated position. If they work, modify them. If
It's always a good feeling to be pleasantly surprised.
I got long ass legs. But like it might not be a position for you just because knees. Yeah, it's definitely something to work on. Just know, one of the things that we do here is we identify our limitations.
As you guys heard me say yesterday, because I'm shooting a lightweight bullet out of a 1 7 twist barrel that's 13.7 inches. That size group is what I'm accustomed to. It is what it is. I'm cool with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good. All acceptable. Good.
Yep.
Very good grouping. Like I said yesterday, we're building an individual protective system around you and your uniqueness. And all of us have different physical limitations, flexibility, mobility limitations. And so if a certain position doesn't work for you, you can try modifying it. You can continue to work on it, but don't feel like that you have to integrate that into your system if it doesn't work for you. Okay, you're familiar with it now. There's a time and a place for all these things, but if we just can't do it, you can discard it or put it on a shelf somewhere, maybe work on it, and then once you kind of feel comfortable with it, bring it into your system. We just want to make you familiar with these things.
but there is no hard and fast rule that just because I showed you how to do it, that it has to be in your system. This is your system, and build it, you know, for your uniqueness. So, but everybody's looking pretty good. Okay. Pending any questions, we're going to go back and start from the standing. Now again, there's not a speed component to this, okay? Controlled fall, really watch your muzzles, make sure safeties are on, okay? Be aware of the people that are around you. Get down in that seated. If you want to take a second, check your natural point aim, go ahead and do that. Shoot your 5 rounds, we'll come down, check them, and then we'll move up to the 75 and do the next position.
Go! Say it again.
Swearing at you in Polish.
Oh wait, do it again, do it again.
Everybody knows
Kurwa
Polish.
Kurwa mać, chuju.
Kurwa mać.
So, okay, so tell me, what did he just say to you?
Ёб твою мать, he said. It's in Russian. Fuck your mother, something like that.
Pretty similar. Yeah.
First time in New York.
I went to half of my town was Polish. I went to Polish Catholic school for a while. It was me and one other person. We were the only ones that didn't speak Polish, and so I learned all the swear words.
Don't you always?
Kurwa mать, it's every day.
Yeah, pretty much like motherfucker in that.
Now I noticed that Putin looks more like Hitler.
It's practically the same.
Oh yeah.
Putin is a new Hitler.
Yes.
On your standing offhand, did you stretch the gun to settle the dot? Okay. A standing offhand, not that we can't do it, and you know, again, this guy is pretty skinny, but it takes a lot of practice. We got to stretch that gun, stabilize the dot, and break that shot fast, because we're going to get fatigued and then it's going to move even more. So, cool. How do we do down here?
Not too shabby. They're all in there.
Nice. Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
I haven't marked them yet, but yeah, they're all in there. They're in the heart and lungs.
Yep, I see it. That's excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Now we'll do it from standing to that traditional knee again. So 2 5-round groups. All right. Let's go on forward, front of our elbow behind or on the inside with that muscular tension, squeezing in with the thigh. Okay. Depending on what works for you, how much flexibility you have, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Check that natural point of aim while we're down there, just like we would if we were in the prone. And then when you're ready, we'll get you going. Okay. All right, gents, look left, look right. Make sure everybody's got hearing protection on at the very least. Go ahead and make your way into that traditional knee. Get down in that traditional knee. Check your natural point of aim. If you want to tighten your sling down and add stability that way, by all means. Once you have a good natural point of aim and you're set, the line is hot. You can shoot a 5-round group to the heart. 5-round group to the heart. Once we're done with these positions, as you go to make your way to your feet, remember, scan around. We just took care of one problem set, but we might have multiple problems out there. So do a quick scan around. When you get up, everything's good in your world. Get them up in your workspace. Do that proactive reload. Build those routines, because we don't get enough time to practice. Okay? And we want to build those routines so they come automatically. And we don't have to think about them when we're in that adrenalized state. So do that work here, okay? And add those things in. All right, let's go down and check them, y'all.
Good. They're all in there. Heart and lungs.
Good, John. Good.
4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. That subclavian artery too. That'd be a showstopper. Would be a showstopper.
1, 2, 3, 4. I thought I was in here somewhere.
It's in there somewhere. Yep, I'd take
Probably there.
I'd take all those.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
We always look at, where we should
Heart and lungs on a reduced size target.
We want the ability
Yep.
to have enough adjustment that have versatility with the gun, for the ready positions and things like that. But we want it in that ideal place that when I go to get in that position and I tighten it down, I can bring that hand up, make that platform, use my thumb to pull in on that sling, and I get tension or stability with that sling also. Getting that elbow down and tucking that knee in engages our lower back all the way up through our back muscles and our traps to kind of keep us from that weeble wobbling back and forth. Okay. It's just a tough position. Like I was telling these guys yesterday, and I think you've heard, is for whatever reason, traditional knee seems to be one of the most difficult positions for people to shoot. It's an extremely stable position, but people have just a hard time with it, myself included. So. Once you get it though, and get it figured out, like I said, some of those things, bringing it real close to my center line, so I'm not contorting my head, dropping that elbow down, and turning that knee in. When I do that, and then I'm on. I'm on. If I don't do those things, then I get a lot of wobble around. So it just takes a little bit of practice. I mean, okay. Yep. You're also fighting it too because of that inability to get that elbow down, and you know what you need to work on with that to get that. Other thing, something you look at too is how is my battle belt equipment set up for as I'm going through positions and move that stuff so it's accessible, but you also have that flexibility to be able
Plus
to
I'm dropping.
Yep.
I tightened it last night. I thought it was good, but it's still dropping too low.
And I'm not joking on this or derogatory. Suspenders might be a way to go with it also. To hold it up, because we got all kinds of weight on that Batman utility belt, and if we're not tied in, say with an underbelt or we do suspenders, it's gonna fall. Yep. Because that's a lot of weight there.
And you could also wreck your sciatic if you don't get it off.
Yep.
If you don't get all the weight off, you'll wreck your sciatic nerves, and they run right through here, and they'll wake you up in the middle of the night. Been there. And aren't you glad you're learning all these things here in this environment?
I never learned it on the range. I know.
You go to a conventional range, you're not going to pick up any knowledge because it's, you can't rapid fire, you can't draw, you can't this, you can't that. You come here, you learn.
My body tenses. That's what I found.
Got that right. That's what it's all about. It's about reps, putting in the work.
So just being able to see what I'm doing through the scope and then feeling.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to go back.
I'm good. Oh, you said.
And do it from standing into kneeling. Same thing, okay? Let's go back to the 75, y'all. Kneeling position, but starting from standing, dropping down into that traditional or NRA style knee, 5-round group to the heart, make your way to your feet. Remember, conduct your scans, do your proactive reloads. Once everybody's done, we'll walk down and check them and mark them. No. Go from standing to kneeling and then shoot 5. Yep. Okay, is everybody good to go? Here we go. Threat. Make sure that everybody's on safe. Control them with your master grip. Let's walk down and check them.
Uh-oh, got a couple flyers. Well, they're not totally flyers, but they're off the lungs. dink, dink.
Felt that one. Okay. Probably natural point of aim off just a little bit.
3, 4,
But
5.
still good, man. Still all good.
1, 2, 3,
Yep.
4, 5. So clearly I needed to shift my body that way.
Yep, a little bit of natural point aim after.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yep. I said the more we practice, guys, when we're in a controlled environment, checking that natural point of aim, making sure that it's good. When we go from like standing into kneeling, you'll more intuitively go closer to that natural point of aim. But it's a learned thing. We've got to continue to practice it. When we are in it, take a mental snapshot of where your body is in relation to the target when you have good natural point of aim, so you can try and replicate that. But it does take time and practice to drop into that natural point of aim intuitively.
There is the same tool much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Did you feel a difference when we push that elbow down some?
Yeah.
Yep. As we start to let appendages come out, we start to disengage muscular contraction, and the gun starts controlling us and doing things. When we lock that down and pivot that in, that engages that musculature, which helps us turn into a vice with that gun, and that keeps that weevil wobble.
I couldn't find some stable position. All the time I will get like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you know, it seems to be this is the hardest position for just about everybody. I don't think I've run across anybody yet doing these classes or doing combat conditioning that's been like, I love doing, you know, traditional knee or NRA knee because it's so stable. It's more like everybody's like, I hate that knee, you know, or it's my least stable, or I always throw shots with it, or whatever. It is a very stable position, but there's a bunch of small little subtle things that we have to do in order to get it stable and, you know, settle our sighting system to get the shots that we need. And it just takes practice. Just takes practice. Or we disregard it. You know, it's all completely up to you. There we go. Much better though. Much better.
Strap help.
Yep. Strap does help, and that's another thing. Just like powering up and powering down with your magnification is learning how to let that out, tighten it down at different appropriate times to aid in stability or to loosen it for versatility. If you start to get fatigued, there's no speed component here. Okay, let it hang on your sling, shake it out, and then pick up where you left off. Okay. Each shot, again, is still its own individual event. 5 good shots into the heart. We'll come down and check them and then go back and do the next one and move on to the next position. Okay? All right, let's go to the 50, guys. Make sure you have enough bang-bangs in your gun. If you haven't done a proactive reload in a while, get it in your workspace and swap out that partially loaded magazine for a fully loaded magazine. Starting from standing and going to speed knee. 5 rounds to the heart. 5 rounds to the heart. Standing to speed knee. Okay, make each shot count. Here we go. Threat.
Through that one. Low. You just weren't looking.
I turned around and looked at you and said, fuck.
I know you did.
So let's discuss this. Did you slip?
Oh, no, that's a brother. Never mind.
Did you think you saw a Pikachu?
That must have been the whole fuck.
Okay. Still not horrible. Still not horrible. Everything else looks good, man. Looks good. Just hold on to that. How do we do on this?
Oh, wait. I think I did.
Those 2 are from earlier. I don't think you marked those.
Kurwa much. Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Did you know it when it
it's,
happened?
I tried to catch it while flying by, but
Okay.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
So, guys, as we get, you know, with these different positions, as the reticle or dot or whatever you have is moving around, again, you know that we're never going to stop it.
Okay, we just want to get it in that acceptable target area. It'll most of the time do a figure 8 or, you know, something like this. Okay, what I don't advocate doing is trying to time those things, because they don't really work out. What we need is an understanding of what's an acceptable sight alignment in an acceptable target area, and know that it's not going to be perfect. Okay? If our sighting system is outside of that acceptable target area, don't break the shot. And I know that's a hard thing to do, to exercise that tactical patience and stop what you're doing, but get it there, because only good hits count. Okay? If we need to, especially in this speed knee, stretch that gun, get it settled so it's bouncing around in that acceptable area, and apply the fundamentals. If we don't get it and it starts bouncing out, stop what you're doing. Okay, and then get it there, settle it, and break the dot. Okay? It happens to all of us, man. It happens to all of us. We all get those errant shots. Like I said, it's hard to stop an action once we've started it. With more practice, we can. So, but those other ones look good, Alex.
One out on the arm.
Yep. Yep.
Everybody else was inside.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Same thing as it gets going. Guys, we don't want to force the shots. Hey guys, what a lot of us tend to do, especially if we start to get fatigued, is we try and make the shot happen. Okay? We can't make it happen. It's just got to happen on its own. Okay? If the shot's not there, like I said, don't take it. You know, an errant shot, a peripheral hit, or a catastrophic miss in a fight do us absolutely no good. Okay? All we did was make noise, and potentially could be disastrous for us if we make it through, because we could end up in prison if we hit somebody that we weren't intending to hit that didn't need to be shot. Okay, so don't try and force the shot, especially here when we're in this controlled environment. We just got to kind of let it happen. Okay, get into that flow state, understand that, hey, the sighting system's in that acceptable target area. Okay, now I can apply those fundamentals. It doesn't need to be perfect, or it's not, and then we need to get it there. But the shot should just kind of flow and just kind of happen. Okay, when we force it, then we start getting muscular tension into our body, where we misalign the sights, which misaligns the muzzle. And a lot of times we get too hard on the gun, and we either drive it up and high, or we drive it down, or we drive it left or right, because we're trying to get that where, okay, that sighting system is in that acceptable target area. I got to make it happen right now. Okay? And we shift the whole gun. Okay? It's hard to do, but we have to understand tactical patience and when it needs to be applied. All right, guys, same drill. Starting from standing, going to speed knee. 5 rounds in the high center chest. Here we go. Threat.
Oh, that was bad. Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Cool. You don't have to.
I thought I threw some of these.
We're going up to the head. So.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2. Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Looks like we got another one in there. 3. They're all in there, so we don't have anything crazy. So generally, you know, as long as we're staying all in here, if we can't find them, then we know they're in there. Unless you just decided that, like, hey, my target looks pretty good, and I'm gonna put them in the dirt off of the side.
Yep.
Which I get that. It's your class. You can shoot what you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. Not too bad.
That's smart, Alec.
You guys don't have to mark these ones. We're fixing to go to.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. We're gonna go to 25 now, pending any questions. This is standing offhand headshots. Okay. Same thing. If you want to check your natural point of aim, aim in. Check your natural point of aim. Get your feet set. Okay. Once you have a good natural point of aim, don't move them. Once you have that natural point of aim set until you're done shooting. Okay. Remember that muscular contraction, muscular relaxation, stretching the gun, isometric tension like we're trying to tear it apart. let the dots settle or sighting system settle, break the shot, relax. If through the 5, because it is fatiguing, if you need to drop it on the sling and shake it out, you know, at second or third round, that's fine. Okay, there's not a speed component to this. Okay, what we're looking at is accurate shots, where we want that bullet to go. Okay, at 25, remember with your different zeros, we might have a mechanical holdover because of the physical difference between the sighting system and where the bullet's coming out of the muzzle. So think about that. Okay, we did that yesterday, or you've done it previously. Okay, where do we got to put our sights to get the bullet to go where we want it to? Okay, up in the head, in the cranial ocular vault, between the eyes, bridge of the nose, things like that. Okay, cool. Let's go back and do it.
Shoulder roll. 5 rounds in the head. 5 rounds in the head. Assess and scan, top them off, and then we'll go down and check them out. Okay? Correct.
Seem to be drifting right today. And I know it's me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good, Sean.
A little bit better this time.
Yep, good. George, good. Nice having you.
Yeah, drifting right.
Just drifting right a little bit. That's okay. It's okay. That's okay though. Those look really good. Good, not bad. Not bad. Good. Yeah. Yesterday I was the same way when I was demoing this. And I knew it. Every time I went to break the shot, I'm like, I got to get up, a little bit higher. But, you know, I'm only human. So, you know, if I've got my high ready here, where I got it in nice and tight, I'm looking over the top, I got a good field of view, driving the gun out, okay? Or it's in my shoulder, I'm in that low ready, confrontation ready, okay? The over-the-shoulder roll or rifle stool, whatever you want to call it, is really good for working indoors, working in and around people, things like that. And what I'm going to do is bring the gun in, I'm going to roll it up over my shoulder and avert the muzzle down so I'm not muzzling myself. Notice that it's straight up and down, it's not off to the side. Because when we get off to the side, number one, we can muzzle somebody that's next to us, or we can hit something, and what people tend to do is arc it up. Okay. When I'm going to drive the gun, I can either roll it up into my shoulder, or if I have to compress it more, I can pull it up. So I can either come up to here, drive it out and into my shoulder, or I can compress it and punch the gun straight out and into my shoulder.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so does everybody have at least 10 rounds of ammunition? Okay, cool. Last drill that we're going to do here, we're going to do kind of a modified and vanilla version of the battle standards. Okay, so there's one more cone that's here. It's roughly about 10-ish yards, 10 or 11 yards. Okay, we're going to go back to the 100. I'll shoot the demo on this. I'm even shooting my bolt gun in 308. Okay, so we'll see how I do here. But we're going to go back to the 100. Okay, on the threat command. Okay, and you guys will run it all together. Okay, it's going to be controlled. Don't worry, there's not a bunch of running or anything. We're just going to move at a brisk walk. Okay, but we're going to drop down into a seated position. Or if you have difficulty with the seated position, you can go to a different one if need be. Okay, and we're going to fire 2 rounds at the high center chest. Make sure the guns are on safe. We're going to get up to our feet, being muzzle aware, trigger finger aware, and safety aware. Okay, we are going to move forward to the 75. We're going to get into a traditional knee, okay, or whatever you need to get into. We're going to fire 2 rounds to the high center chest. Make sure we're on safe. We're going to move forward as a group to the 50. Okay, drop down into a speed knee. Shoot 2 rounds at a high center chest.
move up to the 25, standing offhand headshot, 2 rounds. Okay, and then we're going to move up to that about 10, and I'll pace it off to make sure it's between 7 and 10. And taking into account that mechanical offset, standing offhand, 2 rounds to the head. Okay, guns on safety after your 2 rounds. Make your way to your feet, watch your muzzles. All right, move forward to the 75. Move forward to the 75. Traditional knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Traditional knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Make sure you're on safe, up to the 50. Speed knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Okay. Forward to the 25, standing offhand, 2 to the head. Okay, moving to the 10-ish. Standing offhand, 2 rounds to the head. Remember your offset. Remember your offset. Okay, scan it out and get them in your workspace. Top them off. Proactive reload.
Last mag.
Okay. If you don't have an additional mag, then you don't have to do it. Good. Once they're in the condition you're happy with, make sure safeties are on, control them with your master grip, and let's check them out. Good, Abner.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right.
Good.
Ding.
So did I. Good run for a first time. Good. Thank you. This is how we're putting it all together.
Good job, George. Look at you doing the work. Way to go.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. A couple flyers.
Am I going to jail?
Going to jail.
Yep. You're going to the gulag. The gulag.
Federal.
But that's okay. You know, we're putting it together. We're putting it together. Okay. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah. Hey guys, bring
That
it in.
didn't suck at all.
It sucked a little bit.
Hey, good job across the board, everybody. Okay. See how we're kind of putting it together now? Remember what I said yesterday, or if you weren't here yesterday, I've said in previous classes. You know, what's a gunfight?
Dynamic endeavor.
Yep, it's a dynamic endeavor and it's a problem set, right? It's just a problem for us to solve in a dynamic environment. Okay? There's just deadly consequences with it, and it happens to involve a firearm. Okay? This is starting to put it together. Okay? When we add a little bit of physical stress to things, like I said, we're not replicating, what it is to have that adrenaline dump, when we're fearful. Okay, but it's the closest that we can get, unless you want me to stand down range and shoot at you as you go. Okay, and we're not going to do that.
I've seen you shoot. We'll be good.
See, I put a little frowny face on my one there. Okay, but we have to be able to put it together. But when we have that little bit of stress, we start to see things fall apart a little bit. Okay, because we're trying to think about too much. That wasn't really the case here. Okay. Everybody looked really good. This is putting it together. Like I said, we are taking you guys from just shooting rifles to becoming riflemen. Okay, and what you guys just did, that was a fairly big step right there. So kudos on you guys for what you did. So good work. Any questions or concerns?
Can we do it once again, please?
Everybody got enough ammo? Want to do it again?
Yeah.
Might have to reload, but yeah.
Okay. All right. When we get back there, if you want to cross load to make sure that you have 10 rounds, that's fine. And yeah, we can run it one more time.
I'll shoot one every time.
I'm smiling. Can you tell?
Mm-hmm. I can see it in your twinkling eyes.
It's in my heart. I'm telegraphing my happiness.
I'm smiling on the inside.
You got that right. You know why, too.
Uh-huh. All right, everybody good to go? They're in a condition that you want them in. Make sure to look left, look right. Make sure everybody's got hearing protection on. All right, you guys know what to do now. Make them count. Remember, not a speed component. Don't sacrifice accuracy for speed or marksmanship for speed. Here we go. Get them in a ready position. Okay, we're in a fight. We're just not hanging out with Daddy's shotgun. Good. All right, move to the 75. Go to 50. Move to the 25. Okay, move to 10. All right, scan it out. If you have the ability, get them in your workspace and top them off. Once everything's right in your world, they're in a condition you're happy with, ensure that they are on safe, control them with your master grip, let them hang on the sling, and let's walk down and see how everybody did. Start down here.
Well, better than last time.
It just keeps getting farther out and have 100 yards.
Where's the pen?
That's my default reaction.
7, 8, 9, 10. No, wait a minute.
It's coming.
100-yard tradition.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Once I get in that seat, you can't hardly get up.
7, 8, 9. That must be 10.
Yeah, man. Try and use that hand for your powering up and powering down so we don't release that master. Well,
There's some touching going on in class. Did he touch you without asking your permission?
Yeah, but I kind of asked for it.
But I had fun.
I had fun.
Yeah.
What do you draw?
Nothing. How did we do over here, Abner? Good, man.
Better than last time.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I believe that's a double. 8.
Yep, it looks like a double.
9, 10.
Good. Good work.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent.
All meat.
Referred to as the American Rifleman Battle Standards. They're a takeoff of Reed Hendricks at Valor Ridge and Paul Howes at CSAT 100 to 7. Okay, we put seated in because I think it's a very applicable position for us, which they don't do seated, right?
No.
I don't think so. And I think they do body shots at 25 instead of head shots. But anyway, I just put a take on, but I like to give credit where credit's due, where it came from. Okay, the way the battle standards actually work is it's a single shot at each of those positions, and we add prone in at the 100. So you go to seated, shoot one. You go to roll over in the prone monopod, shoot one, and then everything else is you just came up. But you do that 10 evolutions. So when you come up and you crack that first shot at 10, you run back to the 100 and you do it all over again. It's a 60-round course of fire with one magazine, emergency magazine change.
1,000 yards.
Yep. Yeah, it's a pretty lengthy. Okay, and so we do get fatigued. Okay. For me, I don't look at the actual scoring box that's there. I look at fight effective hits. Okay, for it, you need to shoot a 90%. So you can have 6 shots that are outside of the vital area. Okay. Par time for it, for most people, 22 minutes. Okay. For myself, I try and run to 20 or under. Okay? But it's a good exercise that puts stuff together and puts you under a little bit of physical stress to be able to apply these things. Okay. But you got to have your mechanics and your marksmanship down before we do that, because otherwise we'll just create some bad habits. Okay. But you guys got a modified and a vanilla version of it. We're going to hit another one here a little bit later this afternoon after we knock out the 2. Or off a bag, however you want to shoot it. Okay. 5 rounds, get down behind the guns, good natural point of aim, make sure you're straight behind. Okay, once everybody's down, we're loaded up, you got a natural point of aim, the line will be hot. Okay, then we'll jump in the truck, we'll go down, we'll check them and mark them. Pending any bad issues, we'll address them if we need to. Otherwise, then we'll get to the next event.
Hey George, what was the other name you had for this? I call it the Walk of Shame, and what was it?
I didn't have another name.
I thought I thought it was you.
No, it was the Walk of Victory, I think it was.
Sure. Walk of Victory. That is absolute dog vomit. Clearly should have been holding higher.
Yep. So everybody get a look at where they're at. Okay. George, good work, my friend.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent work. Okay. For those of you that are low,
That is good, George.
you know, look at your group size. Okay, that's fundamentals right there. Okay, if it's bigger. Okay, but look where the mean point of impact is of that group in relation to where you want it to be. Take a mental snapshot and think about with our sighting systems, where do we need to put our sighting system in order to get those hits in the high center chest. Okay.
On the head.
If there's a yardage line or area that if we get to that or beyond, that's outside of our limitations, we have to be honest with ourselves. Okay? And when we leave here, yeah, that's an indication that we need to maybe practice more at that distance and become more proficient. But if we leave here today and find ourselves in an altercation, and just for example, even though I know we probably won't be able to justify it, if we have to take a shot and we are at our limitations or beyond it, we need to know that. We apply tactics and move to get within our limitations. Okay? We all have them. We all have limitations, guys. We just have to be honest with ourselves and know what. When you guys are out here doing that work, okay? Most people are like, I can make 400-yard headshot standing offhand, no problem. Okay?
That's it. Stick it out.
My holdover worked. That was the original group there. And I was holding about here. Basically the dot would be here, and I would see the heart down below. So I was holding, actually I was holding more like here. So yeah, holding a little too high. It is what it is. At least I'm learning.
From here on the threat command, okay, you're going to drop into the prone. Okay, 2 rounds to the high center chest, aiming point heart or somewhere in there. Appropriate holdover. So remember, and if you need to hold over Alexi to get away from the grass, go ahead and do that. Okay. Once your 2 shots are fired, make sure it's on safe. Get back to your feet. Once everybody's on their feet, we'll move down to the 100. Okay. From the 100, you'll get into a seated position, or if you can't do seated, one of the other positions is more appropriate for you. 2 rounds to the high center chest. Put them on safe, stand up. We'll move to the 75. Traditional knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Safety's on, when everybody stands up, we'll move to the 50. Speed knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Okay, safety's on, we'll move forward to the 25. Standing offhand, 2 shots to the head. Move up to the 10, 2 shots to the head. Remember your mechanical offset, okay, at 25 and at 10. Okay, conduct your scans at the end, top them off if you have the ability to do so. Okay, then let them hang, make sure that the safeties are on control with your master grip, and we'll go up and we'll look at your groupings, okay, for the 200-yard Scout Marksman standards. And threat. All right, make sure everybody's on safe patrol with your master grip. Let's move up to the 100.
I was watching this, I had this eye open, I was watching this little spider coming on the broom of my hat, and it dropped down. I was like, what?
We were walking back yesterday, had a little black snake out in front of us. Yeah, it was feisty little sucker.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Run on.
Edgar threatened to shoot him.
Yeah, it's Tennessee. I don't want to shoot him. You know, I don't want to break the law.
Oh, the black stuff is good.
Yeah, they are. They're rat killers.
Yep. And they eat the bugs. All right, guy, 100 seated position, 2 rounds to the chest. Get after it.
My second shot was low.
All right, move up to 75. Traditional knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Traditional knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Get after it, guys. Okay, move up to the 50. Speed knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Speed knee, 2 rounds to the chest. Lexi, control that gun with your master grip. Just don't let it hang. All right, get after it. All right, everybody hold on. We got a magazine change.
Just realized I've been firing 5 rounds at each position instead of 2.
More is better.
More is always better. I'm a little tired.
Yep, I understand. All right, move forward to the 25. 2 shots, Abner. This is that many.
2.
Yes.
1 and 1.
Standing offhand.
2.
Standing offhand. Don't forget your foldovers, your mechanical offset.
To the head.
To the head. To the head. Go ahead and get after it. Remember, toes and shoulders pointed towards the direction of travel. Okay, make sure you're on safe. Move up to the 10. Same thing. Remember your mechanical offset. 2 rounds to the head. 2 rounds to the head, standing offhand. Okay, once you're complete, scan your world. Once everything's right in your world, get them up in your workspace, top them off, conduct that proactive reload. Up in your workspace, guys, get it pinned under your arm so it keeps your head up so you can see what's going on out in that world. Okay, guys, everybody good to go? Okay, make sure they're on safe. Control them with your master grip. Let's go down and look and see how we did.
That is not altogether horrible.
Nope, it is not at all. Good work.
Thanks, sir.
Good work.
I knew it as soon as I broke it.
Even with all those extra rounds, I like it.
I'm a giver. Mama said always be a giver. I love Jesus and I love shooting.
Don't.
Oh no, they do go together.
Oh no, they absolutely do. Just don't accidentally shoot Jesus.
That's true. But he'll shoot back.
He'll shoot back. Oh yeah.
Jesus has orbital weaponry.
Oh man. Excellent.
Oh man, doober-doo down.
Additional name outside parts things like this. It's still stopping.
Yep, it still would have ballistically altered their behavioral pattern.
Doober-doo down.
Okay. Hey guys, come on, bring it in.
Traditional name.
You
Yeah. Pretty much.
are the boner killer.
Yeah. What happens?
All right, hey, good work, guys. Any questions on that? Okay. All it is the fundamentals. We're applying the fundamentals at different distances, at different positions. Okay. Now, any of these standards normally, like I said earlier, between positions, we'd actually be hauling butt. Okay, we'd be running. We're taking it back some here just so we don't get so stressed that the wheels really start falling off of it. But your guys' homework, if you choose to do it, okay, is working with a dry gun or even not a gun at all, getting in and out of these positions quickly. Okay, and I know all of us have different physical limitations, flexibility, mobility issues, but to the best of our ability to work as efficiently as possible to get in these positions, get stable, break the shot, even if that's just dry fire, do an administrative action, reset, okay, and get up and move again, or do the administrative action as we're moving to another position. Okay, it's important. Like I said, it's what separates us from shooting a rifle as opposed to being a rifleman. Okay, it's a dynamic environment. These targets aren't moving. Okay, they're one-dimensional. They're here. Out in the world, you might get them to stand still for one. You might even get lucky and they stand still for two, because depending on the distance, they might be confused and not know where that shot came from. But after that, they ain't going to stand still. So our ability to get in and out of positions, apply the fundamentals, break the shot, have it be a good hit, and then moving again is a very important skill set for us to be able to develop and learn. Okay. Same thing with the gun handling when we come up here. Okay. I know as we move positions, a lot of times we forget about the other things. Okay, but think about and add in, as you get more comfortable with this, doing a quick scan around before we move. That number one lets us see if there's any other threat that's out there, but also it gives us a plan, because we don't want to move before we have a plan. Is there a piece of cover that I'm moving to? Okay, if there isn't, am I moving just to disrupt their decision-making process, make me a harder target, getting into another position that reduces my silhouette and provides me stability to be able to get the hit. Okay. When we get up to the end and we're doing our gun handling, don't forget all the stuff that we've been trying to do and the good habits that we're trying to cultivate. Conduct your scans, do a good proactive reload. Okay. If you pull a magazine out, okay, and I know it's a class, so we're expending a bunch of rounds, but it's an empty magazine or it's only got a couple rounds in it, don't hold it in your hand. Okay. It doesn't do you any good. Drop it on the deck. Drop it on the deck. Get the gun back up and running. Okay. So we're cultivating those good habits of, if there's another fight coming, okay, the gun is down to a one-shot wonder to a short period of time. And then whatever you dropped on the ground, if that's your favorite magazine, okay, keep the muzzle oriented towards where the threat was or where the perceived threat might be coming from. Keep our head up, reach down, pick it up, stow it somewhere, and then continue to assess your world and make sure that there's nothing bad going on. Okay, we a lot of times have a tendency when we shoot drills, okay, and this drill has a level of complexity to it because we're adding a lot of things. With the different positions and movement and stuff like that, somewhat of applied tactics, if you will, pseudo-applied tactics.
to when we get to the end and we're done or we're moving in positions, we forget about all the other stuff. And guns are hanging, or we come up here and we're like, damn, I screwed that last shot up, and we just drop the gun and we kind of wait for everybody else. Okay, don't quit on me. Don't quit on me on that. Remember, you still got a mental checklist of things that you need to do, again, to cultivate those good habits, so that we don't have to think about them in that adrenalized state. Because to quote Benny Cooley, whether he was the one that came up with it or not, we do not rise to the occasion. We default to the highest level of training that we have mastered. Okay, key word there is mastered. Okay, to a level of automaticity that the subconscious mind takes over, and freeing up the conscious brain to critically think and problem solve other things that we have to be able to do during a dynamic incident. Left early. And so,
That's going on the video.
and he's getting a USUF coin next time I see him. Okay. So just remember which one is yours. Okay. Remember, straight behind the gun, natural point of aim. Make sure that is all set, solid, stable, durable position. Okay, that gun should be straight in line with us. Each shot is its own individual event. Pin that trigger to the rear, let it go through its cycle of function and felt recoil. It settles back down. Okay, then we can go ahead and reset and do it all over again for the appropriate amount of times. Okay?
What are we at, 300?
We're at 250 right
250, okay.
now. So I pulled up all the other cones, so this one is 250. We got 300, 350, and then 400. We'll see if we get all the way back there.
Happy place.
You gotta
Happy
perform,
place.
though. 400 is a reward. Okay, can you see the head?
What?
Can you see the head?
Yes,
Okay. No. You know where the chest is in relation to it, right?
yes.
Put the dot in the grass. Grass ain't gonna deflect it. As long as we got a visual reference of where the head is and know where the anatomy is, put your red dot at the appropriate spot and apply the fundamentals.
I can't see it all.
At all? Okay. Hey, just hold on a second, Alexi. Once they stand up, we can have you shift over to be at a better angle, okay? Apply your appropriate hold, if you have one, to where the chest would be, and apply the fundamentals. Okay, even if we have a small rise that is coming up, okay, in the ground, some undulating terrain, if you will, and I can see the top of the head, drop down to where the chest would be, apply the fundamentals. Remember, we have an upward takeoff angle on these, and it's going up, and it's going to go up over that rise and dump down into the chest. That's some ninja stuff.
I have to admit, I didn't think about that.
Yep. We are visual processors of information.
Can't see it, can't hit it.
Yep. If we don't have a clear line of vision, okay, unless we've broken that with training, we'll try to either angle or do something so we can see. And we see it time and again, and it's nothing against law enforcement. I think it's a lack of training, but I'm sure everybody here has seen a video where Abner's the bad guy, and he jumps and puts a bush between, him and myself. Okay, you can clearly see through the bush, but they run around and try and get an angle to shoot when they can just shoot through the bush. Okay, it's a training issue. As long as we got a visual reference, we can still get lead on flesh. Okay, as long as we know our holds and we apply the fundamentals more right.
Whoa, that impresses the hell out of me. No, with all honesty, that still is not bad.
Yeah, connect 4.
Yeah.
Oh, 5.
5.
Okay.
I like it.
Uppercut part of the head. Okay.
Yeah. He's killing it. He's killing it.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. You ever shot that far before?
Nope.
You just lost your cherry. Way to go.
You know what that is? That's expert instruction right there.
That's right.
I'm kidding. That's all you, man.
Merca.
Same thing with you.
Thank you, sir.
Good job. Good job. Okay. So, guys,
That's satisfying.
We've got a couple people that are low. I had you shoot your regular holds, okay? We're figuring it out what it is for our gun and with our ammo combos, okay? So as long as we've got bullet impacts and Alexi, you're still in there, okay? Where are we aiming?
About right here, okay? So now we know we gotta come aim up around the head, okay? And as we continue to go back farther, I'll give you guys the generic holds for your guns, just because I've been there and it helped save time. Because we added 50 yards onto it, I wanted you all to see that when we have these zeros, a 100-yard zero or a 50-yard zero like George is running there.
250 yards zero.
No, I mean, yeah. But that the difference is in how they drop off when we get past optimal areas, and they're all going to be different. Okay, so when we pick a zero, okay, and we put the work in, we also pick that zero for a specific reason. Like we have to decide, okay, what is the max engagement that I think that I'm ever going to have to do? Okay, and pick an appropriate zero that will work for that. 100-yard zero is great. When we start getting beyond 200, okay, we start dropping off and we got to apply a holdover. But I knew for the most part we would still be on paper for a lot of you guys. So I wanted you to see how that starts to drop off, that initial downward arc.
That actually makes me very happy. Out of this short barrel with the wrong ammo, that ain't bad.
All right.
You know, I routinely shoot and hit at 300, but I'm hitting one of those big silhouettes, so I don't really know where I'm hitting because it's got a bazillion bullet hits on it. This is the first time I've actually seen what my gun does at 250, 300.
And that's
This is satisfying.
it, absolutely, and that's one of the drawbacks to steel when we start getting a distance, unless we're have a spotter on a spotting scope and can either see impacts or see the trace of the bullet and where it's going and know how to interpret that.
Right.
That's why putting stuff on paper, you know, is so important, especially as we get to distance, to actually see what are our groups like.
And paper also tells you that your round is still flying straight instead of keyholing.
Yep, it's not starting to tumble. It's still got good stabilization.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys. Okay, let's go back. We're going to shoot another group at 250. For those of you that needed to apply a holdover, let's do that this time, okay?
Okay.
Cool.
I was feeling so good about myself. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Look at you. Wow. Way to go. Good job.
Probably I see you're on top of the bags, so we'll maybe teeter totter a little bit through well. But I like
So as long as I stand like this when he comes over, I'm good, right? Hey Shane, come look at my group.
That's how you got to do it. There you go.
Hey Shane, come look at my group. Isn't that great?
Oh, good. Give me a high five.
Yay!
And I saw it as soon as we drove up anyway.
Did it!
Excellent, man. Excellent. Okay.
You want to sit on the tailgate so you don't have to keep climbing up and down and jacking up your knee further? Why don't you do that? I'll sit up in here.
It's actually, I'll probably pay tonight, but right now, it's doing okay.
All right.
I know.
You ought to consider soaking in hot water for 30 minutes with Epsom salt, because the mag sulfate is a smooth muscle relaxer and it'll actually pull the swelling out of your knees. Right hand to glory. It works.
I'm going to do the chondroitin,
Yeah. Glucosamine-chondroitin.
the stuff and things.
Yeah, the stuff and things.
Back to 300, okay, and we add a little bit more to it. Okay, generally for most folks, the holdover is about shoulders, okay? But if at your 250 it's about shoulders, what we want to do is kind of quarter to head. Okay, so put your sighting system right in the middle of the head. So if say you have a reticle, the vertical and horizontal gives you 4 equal quarters. Okay, if you have a red dot, okay, about right where the ear line is, maybe just a titch higher is generally where we're going to start for most 5.56, regardless of what, you know, bullet weight and velocities and stuff that you guys are running. Okay, just like we did at 250, we're going to do the same thing at 300. Although we'll apply that initial hold this time. Okay, shoot a 5-round group again. You know, well-aimed shots, each one its own individual event, natural point of aim, pin in the trigger, all the things that we've been doing, which become even more crucial the farther back we go. Okay, we'll shoot that group, we'll come down, we'll look at it, and then we'll adjust our holds for each individual rifle, its personality, what ammo we're shooting, all that stuff, and shoot a second group. Okay, and then see how everybody's doing. Sound good?
Yep.
Excellent. Let's get back on the Hillbilly Chariot. Hillbilly Technical. So, make sure everybody's got enough bang bangs in their gun. If you need to do a proactive reload, go ahead and get in your workspace and do that. Then start making your way down into a prone supported position, either monopod or off of the bag. Check your natural point of aim, and once everybody's covered up and you guys are ready, we can go ahead and shoot those 5 rounds.
All right, there we go. Wow, there's a big shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So belly shots. I'm aiming roughly around the chest area, and I'm hitting. Those are all the lower body ones.
Okay. So about in here?
Yeah, roughly around there.
Okay.
Because before I was aiming up here, and this crap happened.
Yep. So I'd bring it up between about the ears and the shoulders, or mid-head.
Will do.
Probably. Yep. Yep. To get you up there.
Will do.
Because you want to think a mean point of impact of your group, which is actually down here.
Okay.
Okay. So if you were aiming here and we take that and we move it up, you know, or maybe about head,
okay.
something like that.
Will do. Thank you, sir.
So we made a little bit of a zero adjustment because he's been kind of favoring over to this right side a little bit. Okay, probably a little bit of natural point of aim also, but look at that group at 300 yards, and first time he's ever shot at 300.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations, son.
So
Safety.
I would like.
I'm bursting with fruit flavors.
It gets you
Check your safety.
there. That's okay.
Oh, dude, we all do it.
Yep.
It
happens.
I constantly am sweeping my safety off.
It happens, guys. That's why we're here. We're a tribe and a family. We look out for each other.
That's right.
Okay. But it just goes to show the process and an application of the fundamentals of marksmanship, that when we do them correctly, like I said, the guns will outshoot us. Okay. We have that cone of deviation when everything is perfect, so we want to strive for perfection with the application of the fundamentals. And when we do that, things result in like
that's
that,
really good.
At 300, that is an amazing group if you don't know.
Yeah.
At that distance.
I mean, that's that.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
heart and pericardium.
Yep. That's a heart size, group at 300 yards.
One, 2, 3, 4. So I threw one off the paper somewhere.
Okay. And where was our hold at then?
I believe I'm holding about right there.
Okay.
So, is it heat? I don't know. I mean,
it could be. It could be. We're just at our limits for today.
Mm-hmm.
Or our limits. Period. And that's one of the reasons why we do this, is because everybody's different. You know, and every day is different. So, guys, as we go, whether you know it or not, it's been a fairly fatiguing day. Okay, and we take that into account, especially as we get further back on distance. Okay, sometimes when we're doing this, we learn as an individual that, hey, maybe 300, for example, is our limitation for where we're at down, at the point on this path at the time.
or maybe that's my limitation for today. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong if 300 is your limitation. Okay,
300 is more than acceptable.
yeah, more than acceptable. Number one, distance-wise, you know, at the end of the world as we know it, you know, when all bets are off, okay, think about where you live, okay, where you might employ the rifle. Do you even have a 300-yard shot? No, probably not.
On road.
Yeah, down roads maybe. Okay. But, you know, again, we have to be able to justify it. Okay? To put it into context, where maybe we could justify a longer shot, okay, is say something like an active shooter that we happen to be around. Guess how far a Walmart aisle is from the front of the store to the back? 200 yards. 200 yards from the front to the back. So I'm not saying that we would find ourselves in a situation where we'd be able to employ a rifle and do that, but that would be one way that maybe we could justify it. So knowing our limitations and having that ability, and that falls within 300. Everybody here was making 200-yard shots, right? And one of the things is when we break our position and rebuild it, it's never exactly the same.
That's what I was kind of wondering.
Yep.
So if I held for the third,
Yep.
I may try not to take it.
Okay. We're going to go back, we're going to go to 350, see how everybody does. I think we're probably getting at most people's limits. Okay.
I think I've reached the limit for this rifle.
Yep. And if you don't want to waste ammo at 350, that's fine.
One got off. The heck? Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right. Well. So it got a little bit better, and then there's that garbage going on. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So it got better this time around, and I think I was there.
Okay. Yep. As we get out there, you know, it gets hard, especially when we're, you know, got applying these holdovers especially without magnification.
Yeah, I found 300 to be the limit for me with this gun.
Yep.
Without glass. I mean, I can shoot. I've got another version of this gun with an ACOG, and I can push out to 4 and 5 with it.
Sure.
But this combination, 300 is it.
Have a group that you loved or whatever. Okay. Remember the distance. What we're doing fatigue as we go later in the day. Okay. Tyler brought up a great point. Tell everybody what you told me here just a bit.
So up until yesterday, right, 100 yards and a two sitting with a bench rest is as far as I can shoot.
Boing.
But what's amazing, the first thing, like, now that I'm kind of getting where I'm wanting to go is like the tension in my body. Like my pinky toe will be like tense, and I'll be like, let that relax, and it makes all the difference in the world. I'm like aware of tension in my body, which is it's remarkable how much that really messes you up.
Absolutely. And you said something that I thought was really good is, he said, I felt like I was in the zone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So when we get there, remember what I said earlier about, trying to force the shot and how the wheels fall off and just letting the shot happen. Okay? There's some terms for it. When we get into that good natural point of aim and we're in that relaxed state and we're not forcing things and we just kind of let them happen. The Japanese call it mushin, no mind. Okay? Sports psychologists and in the athletic community, they call it getting into a flow state. Okay, you can call it anything you want. Getting in the zone, that where things just kind of happen.
Think about a good example would be a basketball player. Okay, I use Michael Jordan because I like Michael Jordan. If you ever watch these guys with their routine and how they get into their combat bubble or in this flow state, if you will, for a free throw. Michael Jordan used to get up to the free throw line, he would dribble twice, he would twist the ball twice, and he would dribble 2 more times. Okay, that set his mindset, and then when that free throw happened, it was just of no mind. It just happened because he'd done it so many times and he had his routine, and he would get into this combat or protective bubble or flow state, whatever moniker you want to put on it, that the subconscious mind just takes over and the shot just happens. And guess what happens when we get into that flow state? The ball goes in the hoop, the round goes where we want it to, good things happen. So as we go through and we start to learn and be able to apply these fundamentals of marksmanship and don't have to really think about them, cultivating that mindset or that flow state is as important, if not more important, than the physical aspect of shooting. Okay, because we got the other things down. And like I said, when you know it happens, like I said yesterday, and everything seems perfect, you know it, right? It's like, wow, that felt great. And you come down and everything looks good. We want to replicate that perfection, that flow state, and continue to cultivate it and keep doing it. Does that make sense? Make sure you're lined up on your target. Check natural point of aim. Okay. Each is its own individual shot. Remember, pin that trigger to the rear. Okay. Think about what your holdovers were before. Okay. If we are around the teeth or in the head, we're probably going to have to come just above the head. Alexi, when I talk to you about it, probably a little bit of daylight or white, okay, just above that head, centered up, is going to be your hold for this 350 probably for most of you. When you guys are ready and all set, you can go ahead and shoot your 5 rounds. The line is hot.
How'd you do, George?
I held too high.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at that. Where were you holding?
Top of the head.
That's not horrible, George.
No.
Nope.
Top of the head I was holding.
Okay. So, like I said, we're figuring it out. So, if we're top of the head for you and how fast your gun is running there, probably right, top of the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the peanut gallery what you're shooting.
I'm shooting 68 grain Frontier open tip match.
Out of?
Oh, it's a Barrett Rec 7 piston gun, and it's 1-7, I believe, is the twist.
Okay, so it likes that heavier
So it
stuff.
likes
And we're
that
at 350 yards, and he's delivering that right there, which is not bad at all.
Not bad
Man.
at all, man.
Good shooting.
So, the prime example there, and I'll use you as that here in a second, that when we marry up proper bullet weight with twist rate and apply the fundamentals, the difference that it makes, especially at the distances that we're talking about. So, awesome. Let's go down the way here.
I definitely want to call out that 77. They make a 75 grain, the same company, Frontier. I want to try that. I want to get the 77 Black Hills open tip match.
Yeah, I may have to
So again, we're figuring out our holds for the different distances and the personalities of our rifles. So, you know, Georgia shot, we got 1 here, 2 right there, and then 3 and 4, and you were holding top of the head, correct? Okay. The reason I'm pointing this out, so that's a great group, you know, 350 yards. Okay. You could probably back off that hold over just a titch. But the point that I want to make is, you know, he's shooting 68 grain. Yep, 68 grain out of a 1 in 7 twist Barrett Rec 7. Okay, so a little bit heavier bullet that needs that little bit tighter of a twist rate. Okay, and this goes to show when we marry up the bullet weight to the twist rate of our rifle and understand the personality of it also, and apply those fundamentals, that we get good groups, especially as we go at distance. Okay, you know, if we were to take and swap that out for 55 grain, which is very suboptimal for a 1 in 7 twist, we would be, yeah, kind of probably all over the place. Group being quite a bit bigger and a lot less predictable for what it's doing. So that's a great example there of what we were talking about yesterday when we were talking about zeros and group analysis and looking at bullet weights and the twist rates on our rifles. So good job on that, man. Excellent, excellent. Okay, guys, everybody understand what their holdover would be for the appropriate distances, different distances that we're at. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break. Okay, go back. We're going to top off magazines, drink a little bit of water, hit the bathroom, take a snack, whatever you need to do. Okay, and then we're going to shift over to the steel. To steel. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys.
Let's go
on the truck.
Get that steel.
Go all the way back. We'll stop. So initially, what we're going to do is just like we did yesterday with the intermediate. Now I've moved some of the steel. The farthest one out there is probably about 375, something like that. Okay. Those are the bigger targets. The 4 that are out there are at the farther ranges. I moved everything out and spread them out. Okay. This will be individually initially. Okay. And just like we did yesterday, you know, kind of work it through as a know your limitations. Okay. So, you know, try, say, standing offhand and start working out. When you start to miss, okay, go to a more solid, stable, durable position. Okay, if you miss again, then go to an even more, then we end up in prone. Okay, it lets us know kind of our limitations and where we need to gain more stability. You can move around the tree on the side. That's kind of a know your limitation there. It's right at 100, and you have small silhouette and then smaller circles as they go down. The way that I like to work that one is we got to be way on the far side of the range here. Okay, start standing offhand until you miss. Okay, if you can clean that standing offhand, awesome. That smallest disc is about 3 inches, so that's pretty good. But when you miss, then you go to a more solid, stable, durable position. Okay, if you miss again, go to a more solid, stable, durable position. Okay, as we're engaging the steel that are out there, be sure your backstop and what's beyond. Okay, because if you start angling off, yeah, you can see the steel because some of them are masking, will have to move. Okay, make sure there is a backstop behind you before you crank that round off. Okay, is anybody shooting green tip? Green tip ammunition. Got a green tip on it? Okay.
I wish.
No, not for my steel. No. Okay. Because that's steel, 62 grain steel penetrator. It will damage those targets. Okay. The 2 short ones that are next to each other, the twins. As you see, you have grass, especially if you're in the prone. Just like we talked about earlier, as long as you got a visual reference there, you know where the center of that target is. Put your appropriate hold on it and apply the fundamentals and hit that target. They are pneumatic. They're compressed air. Okay, when you hit them, they will go down and they'll pop right back up. Okay, those, if you do crank a shot off when they're on the way up, no big deal. You won't damage them. The motorized target that I have is down right now. That one you have to wait for it to come up because it will strip out the gears.
Okay, if you goobers are shooting the dangling tree here off a bench or in the pond, you're wrong. That
I'm
is
not.
below your
I'm shooting at the stuff
limitation.
way out there.
Okay. Whomever. Stand up. Start standing offhand.
You're smacking them. Try pitting your sling into that. Make a bunch of slack in your sling. Drive your sling into this with your hand.
I don't understand. Uh-huh. Oh, thank you.
One of the older ones. They're really slick. The one that I have has also. Yeah.
The twins that knocked down?
This laser rangefinder, it's got magnification too, and there's quite a few hits on the two farther targets. Okay. So good work there. You know, for the most part, for our application, you know, we're probably going to be working by ourselves. Okay. So understanding and knowing, you know, what our limitations are, our ability to identify it's a threat. So as we think about when we were working with paper, or this steel here, as we got back to 200, 250, etc. You know, I want you to think about, will we be able to identify that that person's a threat, that they have a firearm? Especially if it's a pistol.
Probably not.
And would they be a threat to us with a pistol at, you know, at those farther distance? Maybe, maybe not, you know. Everybody here, just like I talked about yesterday, put the work in, and that is extremely, extremely rare. Okay, we can read about this all we want. We can look at charts. We can look at ballistic tables. We can have all the apps on our phones if we want. Okay, it doesn't really mean anything. It's a guide for us, but it doesn't mean anything until you come out here and put the work in and see what are you capable of. What is your rifle capable of? What is your ammunition and twist rate capable of? And putting that work in, that's what takes you from being just going out and shooting a rifle to farther down that path onto becoming a rifleman. You guys have made great strides down that path. You're not there completely. You're like junior Padawan rifleman right now.
Rifleman larva.
Yeah, rifleman larva, there we go. All the things that we've done here, you know, especially the positional stuff and that, can be done dry. Okay, get yourself a reduced size target or something to aim at. You can work your dry fire. The one difference is we have to recharge the gun. So I like to tell people, say out loud or at least in your head, administrative action as we charge it.
Yep.
Okay, that is telling us that we are doing something different. So I get out of my combat bubble, I do my administrative action, I get back in. Because every time we do an action, whether it's good or bad, we build and strengthen a pathway, or that muscle memory that most people refer to. Okay,
I have seen actually people who do a lot of dry fire that have come out here to live fire, shot a round, charged it, and shot another round and charged it again, because they haven't differentiated between the act of what they're doing inside that combat bubble and that administrative action. Okay, but working these positions, getting out of the positions, the stability, when we get that click, where is our sighting system on what we're aiming at? Okay, the feedback on them is subtle with the movement. A lot of people are like, well, I don't get feedback on dry fire. You absolutely do. Okay, start calling your shot. Does it bounce a little high? Does it bounce a little low, left, right, to the 2 o'clock, to the 7 o'clock? Okay, that's our feedback. Okay, make sure that you follow through, give it an extra second before we do that administrative action. You know, work your gun handling. But all these things and where we make our money is in dry fire with these. Andy Stanford actually did, for those of you not familiar with Andy, he used to run options for personal security out of Florida. He had various ones throughout the country at the Southeast. It was right here in Camden, Tennessee. Steve Moses had the Southwest out there in Texas and the Oklahoma area. He used to do a rifle dry fire kata that took you through various positions. It was pretty cool. It's on I've still got it on an old VHS tape. Andy's still out there. He's back working for Surefire. Very, very unique individual. If you guys want to see something entertaining, put Andy Stanford, the Gringo Pistolero, into a YouTube search. Okay, he just did it again at TACCON. He plays the accordion and he sings the Gringo Pistolero. It is hilarious. But we can do these things dry fire, and that's really where we make our money. And then we come out and we confirm with live fire to make sure that we're doing all the things correctly, that we're building good habits, and then applying it under that belt recoil. Okay. Pending any questions, concerns, comments, complaints, we're gonna get however you want to be for the group photo. We'll step out, take a group photo, then get your guns in the condition that you want them to be in, or that you want them in to leave here. Kids, Calley, send any photos that she took. We'll post them on social media. All the same stuff applies. Abner, I'm assuming will give us a heads up again when everything is edited and all that. Like I said, if you're not a subscriber to Tier 1 Citizen, we highly advocate you do. He's got amazing video series on there.
Bunch of theirs. Bunch of their stuff.
Ours, but in addition, a lot of other training companies. Dave Spalding. What was the one that you did just recently? Also.
In Ohio. Yeah, Shane and Carly Cardwell.
Yes.
Yeah, there's Shane in. Oh my goodness, Shane and Calley Kerwin, and then Shane and Carly Cardwell. They're in Ohio, Impact Shooting Center.
Yep. So there's Impact Shooting Center on there. There's Technical Defense Institute out of West Union, Ohio. John Benner and his guys, amazing facility. And then Abner does all kinds of really good informative videos that are on there. So if you're not a subscriber, go check them out. And then we'll give you a heads up when those videos launch too.
Send email.
Nice.
But if you check YouTube, I'm not big on YouTube.
Of engagement